Good afternoon, and welcome to week 4 of Global Success Month. My name is Patricia Erker, Chair for the LIBOR's Global Committee. It's great to be here moderating today's panel with LIBOR's global members to share aspects of their international real estate. While we talk about global, it's important to understand some of the definitions. Your international business may consist of foreign clients who are either A, non-resident, non-US citizens, with permanent residences outside the United States, or resident non-US citizen residents who are recent immigrants and have been in the country less than 2 years at the time of the transaction, or temporary visa holders. Your business may be inbound with clients purchasing properties within the US or outbound with clients buying properties outside the US. You've heard the term global is local. A vast amount of global transactions are actually done in your own backyard. And what about those few occasions when travel is involved? We are joined by world citizen realtors, Ayers DeCuna, Nino Perdomo, and Tanthony Ray Baker. Each has success in the global marketplace and are here to share their experience and tips that have helped them expand their business. Throughout the webinar, if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the chat or the Q&A to be addressed later. Let's begin. Each of you are involved in global real estate, but from different angles. You all work with clients from different areas of the world. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us how long you've been in the business, when and how you started working internationally, and some of the areas that you've worked with clients from? Let's start with Ayers.
Thanks, Pat. Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here after a very long time. It's pretty interesting to talk about global. I just got back from India. I was there for approximately about 2 weeks. It was a great experience. And I went actually for a convention out there. I'll talk about it a little later. Just a little bit about myself. I've been in the real estate field for the past 9 years, getting into my 10th year. Initially, I started off, the first certification that I got was CIPS, which is Certified International Property Specialist, where that propelled me to different areas and zones that I have reached and pushed myself. And I'm very excited to let you know what I have done, where I have gone, and where I'm going to. That being said, I served on the local, I served on the state, and I'm also currently serving on my on the national board. On the state, on the local board, I served as global chair for 2 years, followed by chair on the state board, and currently a global ambassador for India and Thailand for the past, this is my 2nd year, hopefully going into the 3rd year, and really love the experience of what I'm going through and how people interact with you, and learning. It's purely an experience. Anything and everything that I have done in this field, every day is a new experience, which is so warm and touching to my heart. And I always loved, international experience. And here I am talking about it. And we'll go a little deep down into it when we go and we have further questions.
Thank you, Ayers. Anthony, you're the newer of the agents, so this is especially a treat for us because you're just getting into the whole spectrum.
Yes, I am. So my name is Tanthony Ray Baker, and I have just entered into the International Global Council. So I have visited, I've always been interested internationally, but I have visited Ghana quite a few times in the last year. And I was so impressed that I start to think like, I would love to do business and bridge, business from New York to Ghana. I
I don't
just so
know.
happened to, I'm sorry, I just so happened to connect with developers there. And it's like it just sort of came together. I'm still forming relationships and looking to do business there in Ghana and work with clients that's looking to invest there and vice versa. And really just show the opportunities there. And though they don't have a formal way of doing real estate as we do here in the States, I am really looking to, maybe form a committee there to be able to, have some type of, what is it I'm looking for? To have some type of formal business where we can, bridge the gap. Because the way they do things there and the way we do it here, there definitely need to be an integrated system for people from the US to feel comfortable with being able to, invest there. And that's where it is for now.
Okay, thank you. And Nino, how about you? Is Nino there? Nino's having some technical issues, I think. But we will get him later. Okay. Ayers and Anthony, share a story from your international real estate endeavors.
Nino, I'm sorry to interrupt. Nino is good.
Oh, great. Nino,
Okay.
tell us a little about yourself and how you started getting involved in the international marketplace.
Well, basically, and I did my CIPS, as you know, for so many years ago, the 2001, 2020, 2000, whatever. And then I was liaison for the NAR for Venezuela, El Salvador, and Ecuador. That was before now it's global ambassadors. I noticed from that point of view, when you are a liaison or you are a global ambassador, your main job is to serve NAR. You cannot do any business, between quotation mark. I don't know if it changed. Iris can tell you if it's any different. You can correct me, Iris, because I don't know what's going on in regard to the global ambassador right now. And you got a 7AR, you go there, get trust, quotation mark. That's the key word that I have in mind. The trust of the people and the association, the local associations, for you to be able to go flow through the people out there. When one of my strategy was not to just to get along with the president of the association. I just honestly, when I went there, I just was looking for the secretaries to get the phone numbers of the people who serve the presidents because I know when I made the phone call, the text or the email, you're not going to be able to reach them. You reach the secretary, and so you develop sort of friendship with them. It's easy to go to the other person. Okay, now I get the trust of the secretary because maybe she's the good friend with the president or whatever. Then I get the trust, and you do not do any business. Then when you finish your service as an NAR, because remember, you got to look for the IRM, International Realtor Member for NAR. Correct me, Iris, it sounds like I say if I'm wrong right now. You got to look for the International Realtor members, motivate the people. After that, you got the trust of the association. You got the trust of the people, maybe, and then the business, you continue to feeding them, the friendship with those members, and then that's when the business comes after you finish that. And remember, global is a long term. You cannot go there to the business immediately. And that's the way. I still have some business with Ecuador, and I was many years ago, and I've done it even with Colombia, because when you go in there, you start to interact with different associations, and that's the way I got. Like I said, I got business in DR, Colombia, and Ecuador. My best place. Honestly, I do the best place. It's Ecuador. And also Puerto Rico, as a matter of fact, and I'm gonna have to have I contact the President Association of Puerto Rico, and I'm gonna give you the phone number, Evan, so we can have the seminar. I was speaking to them. That's the way I am. It's referral. That's basically referral. And every country is different, as we know. Every country is different. Remember to have an NAR pin over there, to have the realtor pin. People pay for that. Sometimes in Ecuador say, can I have a realtor pin? Can I have a realtor pin? And that is very precious when they're going to do a presentation to show the realtor pin in front of any family they're going to get the business for the local realtors. And so imagine when you get the CIPS, you got your realtor, you get the CIPS, it's like a fight, some sort of general over here for those for the agents. That's the way I felt. I don't know, like I said, Iris or Yoshi can correct me in that regard. And the business continuously. I'm going to Ecuador, and the people, they welcome you. Believe me, you come from NAR, it depends how you feel, the relationship, the dinners, the event. They first have a car for you to wait and have this.
Yeah.
It is excellent. It's nice. It's beautiful. I had to say that. Thank you. That's
Okay. Thank you, Nino.
I'd like to add something, or maybe just to echo what Nino said. Nino, you touched upon so many things, but like one of the most important things is like global is long term. You service your clients, properly and correctly, and that business continues to go, and connecting with IRMs, International Realtor members, those are people that have paid dues to NAR. I believe that they have close to 5,000 International Realtor members. They follow the code of ethics like we do. They are trusted sources that are in that country. So it's definitely a great area and a great route to go with in that when traveling into that area.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Great.
that's my experience. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, staying with this topic then, building trust with clients across language and cultural barriers is essential in real estate. So
Yes.
Ayers and Anthony, share your approach to fostering trust and credibility.
I feel what Nino brought up was really good, the trust factor, the two T's, the trust, and you have to be very, very transparent. Because people, when you are coming from the US and you represent NAR, people think, and they want to, or rather not think, they want to know more from you because they feel that y'all are the people, meaning we are the people giving them the advice. Because when you go out to, for instance, I'll just give you my country. When I go to India, I was recently in India, but if you tell them that this is the way it is done, but guess what? You want to do it their way, but guess what? You cannot do anything or cannot object anything because now you're in their territory. Listen to what they have to say. And then, educate them in such a way. They're smart enough, don't get me wrong. The word educate is more about telling them what we do from here. And once you educate them and they come to know of it, I think so there's better. It took me, I got my CIPS like Nino got even before me. I got my CIPS going back in 2015, 2016. From then, I've traveled. I wanted to be a part of India because born and raised in India, what better place to be than India? I wouldn't go for any other country but India because you know your hometown. So I've traveled on 2-3 different occasions. And guess what? People saw me. People welcomed me the first 2 years, but they didn't know who I was. Ultimately, for example, this time I went for the convention. And this time I went as a global ambassador for India and Thailand. I was literally, I wouldn't say with open arms, but people respected, where I came from and what I have done and where I'm going towards and what I have done in the past 2 years. Because you can't be sitting down and just expect things to happen. You have to make things happen. So people see it from the other side and they say, wow, these people are doing something. They're not waiting for us to start and to take it to the next level. So I feel, be it any country, the first thing is, I think so, education is the key. And for me, biggest component for me is education. Get your education, get the things right, educate people in the manner where people know what you're talking about. So once people have, I mean, and not 100% people will have trust in you initially, but at least have the minor trust going forward. That's how I built it up from 2016. And this year, I think so, it opened up many doors for me. And I have, I've done a little bit of business. Maybe with this, there might be some inbound business coming to me, because now people know where I'm from. People know I'm from New York. People know that I do business within the country. And that's basically how you start your relationships going forward. Being transparent. Transparent is the key, because most of the countries, don't get me wrong, I'll be very blunt about it, they're not transparent. They'll tell you one thing, but do something else. But in our case, we can say that because we abide and follow the rules and regulations of NER. We do not go outside of that. Of course, obviously, there are people who do it. But if you want to base something really strong, you have to base upon something that people look at you and follow you and make it happen. So that's basically what I would say from the global standpoint of view. And as Nina said again, the global thing is not today, not tomorrow. It's for a long term. And once people have a trust in you, guess what? The referrals will just come to you. They won't even visit here. And all what you have to show them is the properties, see the money, show me the money, and play the game. That's basically how it goes.
Terrific. Anthony?
Yes, I want to echo what they both just said. But for my experience, I find that to be true is really earning that trust, because they in Ghana, they have their way of doing things. And when you come off that, oh, okay, well, I know how to do this, and this the way it should be done, it can create a bit of a reservation. So what I've learned to do is to really get into the community, learn what the community, how they operate, understand what the locals, how they do things, how they feel about real estate, how they feel about, building, as well as developing relationships with developers to find out how are they going about, building up their projects, and and actually showing face, being there, saying what you mean, and being there, showing up, showing real interest, not coming in as if you're only looking for an opportunity. Like, oh, okay, I just want to make the money and I'm done. You really have to invest and be committed to really forming those relationships, and make frequent visits, as I have done, and that seemed to be paying off.
Can I say something else too? I
Sure.
noticed when I went to Ecuador, I was amazed. I was doing the presentation, and everybody had a high. They were accountants, engineers, very professional people, very professional. I don't know if you guys noticed that when you go to Ghana and India, very professional. And Ecuador, they require you got to go to university to get a license, something like that. It's 4 years. It's not 45 hours, 75 hours. You have to go to the university to get It's a very high standard. Besides, whatever your degree have, so you can take some credit for that. But that is what I noticed when I was doing the presentations out there. Yeah. Thank you.
Great. So you've discussed about expanding your network. So can you provide examples of collaboration with or partnerships with either organizations or realtor organizations and on their level in these countries, and how they've enhanced your ability to serve your clients here and abroad? If you've joined any of these local realtor or real estate associations. in these or Facebook groups in these countries?
Yeah, in fact, I belong, the very fact I'm from India, the convention that I went to was NAR India. They were very fortunate to get that name, by the way, NAR
Wow.
India. And they being a part, they are about 50,000 strong in the country. And the very fact, and they have nearly about 10 zones. And I was fortunate enough to meet about 7, 8 of them for the convention. The beauty about these folks is, like the US. I mean, I can do business in California, but I'm not certified to be a realtor unless and until I become a referral agent. The same goes with them. I mean, they have 17 zonal heads where they have particular zones where they are in charge. And this time I made sure that I got to meet at least about more than half of them.
Wow.
Now they know who I am. So now my way of doing business, or rather starting a business, would be something called the NRI, which is non-resident Indians. I'm talking of Indians who are here, who purchase properties in India. And that particular group of people, if I tell you how much money that they repatriate back to the US in 2022, you want to hear the number? $82.3 billion.
Wow.
And guess what? These are people, Indians, who are here in the US. And majority of them are in 5 states: New York, New Jersey, Florida, Texas, California, and there's a couple of others which are spread out, And those are the people that I'm going to, you cannot do it on your own. As you were checking about, Pat, the thing is, you have to establish a relationship with the folks like NAR India, see who they are, then pick and choose, going from the smallest part of any zonal head, see what they have to offer from their side. But offering from their side to here, it becomes a little bit difficult. But people from here, I'm sorry, it's easier. That people buying properties in India are buying more in the last 5 years. That people, let's put it this way, the amount, what we always complain, what do we complain about here in the US? Shortage of inventory.
Mhm.
In India also, there is shortage, but not like us. They've got buildings, villas sprouting everywhere. And guess what? Nearly 31%, see this number, 31% of the people buying in India are from the US. So you can imagine how much money from here goes back into India.
Wow.
Outbound money. Yes.
A lot of money. I mean, it is something, and these people are doing for 2 reasons. They're young in the sense, those people who came when they were in their 20s, and now they're in their 40s. They're either deciding to go back or retain that particular property that they buy for ROI, for return on investments. And you're talking of a return on investments, something that you put in, it takes about a year and a half to 2 years to get that project completed. You say, for example, you put it at 100,000 in 2 years. Guess what? That particular property is worth literally about 30 times more, 30% more. Sorry, not 30 times more. Then I wouldn't be here. Yeah, exactly. But that being said, that's how people operate with NRIs, non-resident Indians. But and the beauty about India, what is happening, it's becoming very, very transparent. Going before 2016, they did not have a system, but now they have a system called RERA, Realty Regulatory Act, Real Estate Regulatory Act, wherein even before the first foundation stone is laid, they have to get a certification from that particular municipality, or for that matter, from that particular area where they're doing their construction, that they get the piece of certificate that, say, for example, I say, I love the location. Can I put my money down payment on this place? If they don't give you that certification number, it's out. Then you know this person could be a fraud. And it has happened in the past where people, builders and developers have taken money from people not from one, you're talking from 10 to 15, 20 people, and they've utilized it for 10 other projects. And guess what? None of them were completed. Now it's the other way around. I mean, when they concentrate on one or two, it does make it, it goes through and it happens. So for me, I think so that's a great opportunity to build up the relationship with NRIs here in the US, build it up really strong. Now I've already opened up in India. Those people know me. I've gone to meet huge builders and developers. I took my time out to meet them. So now they know who I am and which areas and territories that I handle here in the US. And hopefully that could, not immediately at least, generate something going forward, you know?
Very good. Anthony, you're building your business. Any lessons that you can teach us from things you learned?
Well, yeah, I am building my business there. What I will say is I do believe that there is room for opportunity for regulation. There, going back to what Iris spoke on about, you know, people losing their money, people are investing and, you know, putting their money there, and losing it. I think that I would love to be able to, you know, get in a mix of that regulation there in Ghana so that people can feel, you know, safe if they are going to invest there. I'm not saying it's like that, you know, everywhere, but it is something that does happen. Also, too, I don't know if I don't believe that there's any regulation as far as, like, I was asking them if they need permitted as far as building, like once you buy land, like, you know, you build, but there's no, you know, formal way of checking and, you know, having a way of doing things there. So at least from my experience and my research, and I have been on sites. I have, like I said, I've made connections with some pretty, you know, decent developers there, and the projects were amazing, and theirs was built, you know, I guess to the U.S. standard, but you've seen other things there that is not. I've even came across someone from America that has built over there, and she had a builder there, and the project, she ended up having to put an additional, you know, 70,000 into it because certain things had to be redone because there isn't really regulation there as far as that goes. So I would definitely love to, you know, get in a mix of how we can make things, you know, just a little improvement. That's all.
Great. Nina?
I just crossed in my mind idea, you know, since we're doing this cultivating relationship, maybe we can bring people from the convenience, from the memorandums of understanding to be part of this. We can, you know, like I can have people in Ecuador, or I can have people in Dominican Republic, Colombia, to be part of the Zoom. I don't know if that is okay with Evan or the library, I don't know. And we can have 3 or 4 people, and they can bring the, you know, some brief information what is coming from the United, you know, from investments in the United States. Not to explain the whole association there, not to explain how they do a business, but for investors that come into the United States, if it's that okay. It isn't, you cross my mind.
Interesting. So all of you have traveled to other countries, not, you know, not even ones that you've been assigned to or have interest in. Tell us a little bit about some of your exploratory trade missions or trips that you've made that you may have had other contacts in other nations with.
Myself?
Yeah.
Wow. Believe it or not, my exploratory mission is not just the travel. I would say in the CIPS International Night Out. That's the big. I honestly, I did love the people of Mongolia for some reason. I still in contact with some people of Mongolia. They surprised me in the way you expect them to be Asian, and when I saw that they're so Western in regard to the music, the way they were acting, were acting Asian. They were acting, very Westernized, like a Asian fake with European flavor, put it that way. That's the way I felt. But in regard to the other countries that are honestly, like I said, I was El Salvador, which was difficult. Venezuela, forget it. You know the situation in Venezuela. When there was right before the whole crisis, and when it changed, I was expecting to do a lot of there because it's a lot, but you cannot trust the system there. You cannot trust the system, and it changed altogether. And so, but it gave me some relationship with Colombia, which I was not in liaison, and I still do, and Peru. And Peru, I have a good relationship with Peru. And that's the way, and I have my contacts in there in Peru. And it's one thing, bounce to the other, because once you're Spanish, or I believe you are Irish, you can relate too much to the people of Sri Lanka, to the people out there. You have some sort of, even though you're in India, it's sort of affinity. It's easy to, to associate with them. But Colombia, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, very strong because have a very, El Salvador, I haven't gone much to Honduras. Colombia, El Salvador, Honduras, Dominican Republic. Yeah, that's it. That's the countries that I feel comfortable with. And El Salvador is very strong right now. Very strong.
Wow.
Very strong now. And they are really the whole. I mean, I know that from the communities out here, people just going there to buy. And the prices went crazy downtown. People, properties in downtown used to be $50,000, $60,000, or $100. Now it's $200,000. It went crazy. And people buy, and there are people out here. I hang out in a place over here called the Cuban in Garden City. That's Friday happy hour. Guess what? The guy opened business in El Salvador. They have a restaurant out there in El Salvador. They go there to invest because the Americans are there right now. How safe? Safe is a key word even for myself. I'm not to go to any country, and they feel safe to go there and to spend the money and to have a good time. And it's not a 5-hour flight.
So what advice overall would you give to realtors and agents to expand their international arena in step form, as far as like do this first and then travel here, or do what? Does anyone have any plan, that they can just give someone to kickstart their international growth?
I think so. What I would advise, and purely it is through experience. It's not something that I would say that I'm in the global field just about a year. I've been around from about 2016, nearly about 8 years. It is a long period of time through trials and tribulations that I have gone through. I think so. Anyone who wants to be in the global field, what they have to do is start locally. Find out what is your niche. Just don't join because the other person is joining and say we have to go and visit that country. It's nice to visit a country and take a photo op and say, hey, I was in India, I was in Colombia. That anybody can do. That's not a big deal. But the key purpose of being global is literally you have to show why you're doing it and for what purpose you're doing it. And there should be some benefits out of it. It's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. For example, I am also the global ambassador for Thailand. I have been supporting Thailand now for the past 2 years. They've become so close to me in the sense that I know their culture so well that come September, I'm visiting Thailand, and I want to know Thailand more about what they are doing. They don't buy as much as buying in India and stuff like that, but they do definitely buy here in the US. Now, with them also, you have to build up again the trust, and you have to know their culture, because each and every culture varies from people to people. See, even me, I've been in this country for over 25 plus years, and I'm lost when I go to my own country. The culture is still there, but to get adapted to what's happening with the current thing, it takes time. And the bottom line is, I feel you have to be humble. Don't do it as though you're coming from the US and think that you know everything. Once you show that attitude, people will shy away from you in an instant. because that's how I got the attraction this time when I went to India. I've been going there for so many times, nearly 6 times. Finally, I got that recognition. People say, wow, let's see what we can do. When you hear those words, what we can do, which took them 6 or 7 years to say that, that's because now they feel that that's the thing of having the trust in you, and you have to act on it, not jump on it immediately, but find out what they are looking for more than what you're looking in it for. I think so. There's a good, I think, let's put it this way. In the last 5 years, things have definitely changed on the global front. Irrespective of the fact COVID came into play, despite that people have done a lot of business, but guess what? Going forward, what we are facing right now in the US, that has nothing to do. You have to do what you have to do and be positive. Be positive. If you're negative in the area that you are in, guess what? How will you do business overseas? Because global is something that you have to make believe and show people that you can make it happen and you can trust. Trust is the major factor. And it took me time. And then again, going back, what should I say for anyone coming new in the global field? Learn your local stuff, join your local group, join your state groups, and then what? Do not miss in going at the national level. Even if you have to travel on your own, just go and sit in the meetings. Go and pose some questions. Nobody is going to object to you. But I did that, been there, done that, but I'm still learning. I'm still in the learning process. Once you learn it, I think so, there's lots of opportunities out there, but be trustworthy and be transparent. That's all what I can say.
Thank you.
I can say something to when we start, like I said, we don't have what we have now, the global council. This global council is so much. It's people with a similar mindset. I was talking one way, I talk it one way, Yoshi will be here, Tantoni will be another way, but we all focus in the same direction, do business in the outside. What I mean, you will find people somehow, some way they can help you out. And even though NAR encourage you to have the CIPS, it's you, the CIPS, the NAR has the infrastructure. If you have your global council, you can contact NAR whatever the country. They have to give you the information, or maybe Evan can contact you with the association out there, or the NAR, I don't know if Evan's, with the NAR, and then from there you can contact a particular member in the country that you want to develop, that you have the niche, or whatever. It's in, but sometimes like Ecuador have cities out there. There are a lot of Americans, a lot of Americans live out there. So you go to the city. If it's Colombia, they say Medellin, I forgot the city that everybody go there. So you contact a realtor from the area. You don't, and believe me, that is before you be a CIPS, like Iris was doing it. You develop a relationship with a particular area. Global Council, NAR, association, and the local realtor in the area. And then after that, you just go direct to the realtor. And then when you go there to visit, you have a friend, you have it there, and the business starting, like I say, is trust, booming, text. And now you have the WhatsApp, which is a great relationship. In Ecuador, WhatsApp is your MLS. That's your MLS. That is your MLS. That is you have a groups of WhatsApp, like 100, 200, the properties go back and forth. That's your MLS.
And just to add a little bit to what Nina was saying, as one of our global initiatives at our association, we host almost a monthly webinar where we're highlighting different countries. So we have touched on Ecuador, we've touched on India, we've gone to Ghana, we've repeated some places. I think we've gone to close to almost 40 countries right now. So this is a bunch of information that we have actually on our website, lirealtor.com/global. It's titled as Travel Abroad Virtually with LIBOR, but we recently rebranded to be called going global. So going forward, that will be our title that you will see on social media. But that is an area that if you're not sure what's really going on in that country, but you're thinking that maybe you want to get a little bit involved there, you could look at one of our webinars, or you could even send us an email and let us know, like, hey, this is a country that I think you guys should work with. And we could try to put together a webinar really to bring that information so that you can maybe get some of the education about that country without actually having to travel there immediately.
Exactly. And if you'll need any help, we are here. Not that we are totally experts, but we have been through the process, and if we can do something and help you guys out, and who knows, and Evan is always there sitting there, Pat is there, whatever we have to see, bring forward, we can definitely make something happen about it.
Evan, you still have you got all the MOUs in there that we have done, right?
It's on the website. And our library is very fortunate. We have Yoshi Takita, who is the NAR total international guru. He's above all things global. So we have the top global liaison for ambassador in the nation, in our own organization. And the NAR website has the names of all of the global ambassadors and global liaisons and country people who oversee different continents. So they're always willing to help you out. In addition to joining our local organizations like ARIA, CARIA, NAREB. There's so many things that you can get your foot in the water, and you can start with that. And Evan, I think we have some questions.
Yes, and also there's a question that was asked, but I also do want to say if you are interested in doing some sort of traveling, there's a couple of different options that you can do in terms of that. LIBOR actually has been the Ambassador Association, which is an NAR appointment with CIRA, the Spanish International Realty Alliance. And we've had that relationship since 2018, and we have been going to their conference every year since 2018. So we will be going again this year. It's scheduled for June 19th, 20th, and 21st. We have a discount if you're looking to come with us. And that's for the conference. So there's a lot more information about it. It's going to be on the website by the end of the day. But if you are interested in that, you can email globalawareness@lirealtor.com. That goes directly to me. I can get you over the information. And if you're interested, we're going to have a pretty nice group that's going to be going. Iris, you actually just went to a conference that is in India. So I know that you spoke about it really briefly. I just wanted to get your opinion about going to international conferences before I ask the question that's in the chat.
Okay. Basically, talking about India, the convention this was my fourth, but I feel this convention was handled really, really well. It was in a small place, small in the sense they had a crowd of maybe about 2,500 people, and they followed the system like NAR. They brought in the crowd. They brought in the realtors. You know how they bring in the flags and all that stuff? The same thing, they followed what NAR does. They followed the same thing on the second day. And then they had each of the zonal heads speak a little bit about their area and stuff like that, so that people got to know what it is. And I think so, I was totally impressed going back what it was. And they say that this particular convention in India was second best. I don't know what was the first one. Second best compared to the 16 years they've had it. I think so. Let's put it this way. The way it was organized, it was really organized, and it was all in one place. It was at one hotel. People stayed in the same hotel. People came down and went to, and after 6 o'clock, once it was done, the party also was in the same place from 6 to 2 o'clock in the morning. It's crazy. It was crazy, but it was, for me, I think so, it was hot as hell because humid, 95% humidity. I couldn't take that heat so much, But that being said, the organization was really good. I'm really happy, and it happened to be in the birthplace of my parents. What better place it could give me comfort, I really, really enjoyed that. Talking about India, that's one thing. But going back, taking part of the global side of things, I also went to Colombia, I went to Spain, and I will be going to Spain again this year also. The Colombia thing I joined because, again, we signed up MOUs. I made sure that the people that I signed up, like SILA is a group of Central and South American countries that are 19. They added 20 countries. I made sure that we signed the MOUs and everything. And guess what? We were given warm welcome 2 years ago. It was really, really good. And I felt as though I was in India. I felt in certain times, I felt that I was at home, It is like something that they welcome me with such warm hearts and take it. And me, it was even closer to my heart because my wife is Hispanic. She was born and raised here. And for her, and I took her to get the experience, and she loved it. She loved it. I mean, look at this picture. If I was the part of the global sector, where would I experience all this stuff? Never, never. Maybe I would have gone to Spain. I would have gone to Colombia. I would have gone to India. But being a part of the global arena, I think so that made a huge impact for me, at least going forward.
And word on the street is if you travel and you do a little bit of business, it could be a tax write-off.
That's exactly what I thought too.
I know we're wrapping up on the time right now, but I do there is a question in the Q&A that I think is pretty important. I know that we have been talking a lot about outbound traveling for business, but would anyone be interested in sharing a little bit of information on how you could get involved locally in global business without traveling or possibly without speaking the language of your international client?
I can say something. In the 2016, 17, I was the chairman for the NER Global forums. And my subject was local is global. And Aldo just brought that to me, and I've been emphasizing that. One of my points is we all know over here, our communities, I was mentioning, El Salvador is investing out there. And the people from El Salvador in this community investing in their country right now. That is local, is global. I don't know what exactly the definition of global right now, but that's some components that we bring it to those people out here that motivated for them to have business with us. And that is global because they speak a different language. They are not even different, but ethnicity and all of the components of global. And they have money. So that is something that I don't know how liable, I mentioned in the past too, is there any way we can get a very local statistic, how it could be a global transaction? Before was the MLS, I have a little box, and now it's the one key. But I know there is so many companies. When I spoke to Tricia about it, she said, keep trying. That was a couple years ago. How we have a global transaction that we say that's a global transaction, even though it's local. But
that's right.
That is a subject that is beyond me. That's for the one key, for the CEO, for NER, and all those rules are out there. But it's something that we have to have a local statistics. There are local transactions that are global. I know that for a fact.
We do know that. And I have something right now. I'm here. People purchasing from one person lives in another country. All of the information for the co-op board application had to be translated into US dollars from whatever their currencies were. So, I mean, obviously we all, at least we have to realize a lot of our transactions are local or global.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
and I do think the definition, is really important to understand that, there are a couple of different aspects. I mean, we are very loose with the word global when we're talking about it. Basically, if someone speaks another language, we kind of classify it already as a global transaction. Asking the questions is really important. Where are you coming from? Where are you going? Yeah, I do also want to note that as LIBOR, we do conduct an international survey that is conducted by NAR. NAR actually surveys our members. It's called the International Residential Transaction Report. And the data is only as good as you know, the people that are responding to it. So if you do see an email, I believe that it's going to be starting next month, and it's a 2-month campaign, and then we get the report in August. That has transactional data for the previous year. But even if you've never done a transaction, it is important to answer it and let us know that you haven't, because it still will help us in the data that we're going to be able to collect. And this is actually the 4th year that we are participating in it. So on lirealtor.com/global, there's a spot that says reports, and you can see all of the past reports there as well.
How do we motivate our membership? Because that is the people that's in global. What about the people that doesn't have the mindset of global? That they say, see, global, whatever it is, that's no money there, whatever. But they are making the money in global. They are making the money. They don't even know. How do we get that information from them?
Right.
We have to motivate it for them to fill out whatever the survey is. We have to do some sort of motivation. Okay.
Just on a different note altogether, the very fact I was personally in India, and by the way, I also got folks from Thailand. Nearly 10 of them came down to India. I invited them last year, 12 of them. I got them. I wasn't there. It was too soon for me. But this year there were 10 of them. And they really had a blast. In fact, I'm looking forward to Thailand, because there's a big convention coming up there. Going forward, I think so. There's even better response going to come from my countries that I am global ambassador. India, ultimately seeing me come there and talking to all the leadership and stuff like that. At least they told me, at least when I was there, they said there will be a team of, Evan, you want to hear this? 30 people are coming from India for Boston.
Wow.
Yeah, and about 12 to 15 people are coming from Thailand. So maybe I did something right. Who knows? Maybe we'll see when they get there.
Yeah, we make a dinner together.
There you go. There you go.
And that's to the NAR convention in Boston this year, which is in November.
Yeah.
NAR and XT.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
let's see
someone
how
had
that
asked
goes.
about passports. I don't believe any special passport is required to go traveling any place, but some countries may require visas. So
I think most
it's
of the
always
countries-
best to check.
Yeah, it is. Like to India, you always need, regardless whether you're a US citizen or not, you still need a visa, period. But the visa is easy. It's an e-visa. 1 week, 10 days before traveling, you apply online, and the 4th day you get the visa emailed to you. It's very simple now. It's very easy. Not you have to send your passport or anything like that. Yeah.
I know you could do it both ways in Ghana. You could do the e-passport, or you can do it, the other route, or you can actually get it upon arrival. At least,
Correct.
yeah, at least right now we have done it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Great.
All
So
right.
many aspects. Well, thanks to Ayers, Nino, and Tanthony. You really graciously shared all your information with us, and so many tips and trips. But we hope to see you again. And it was really very enlightening. I mean, so everyone can see that global really is local, because we're from all different backgrounds and heritages, and it works. So get involved and go on the LIBOR website anytime, lirealtor.com/global. All of the resources are there for all of the attendees who've been so nice attending our webinars throughout Global Month, our Global Breakfast, which was the highest attendance ever this year. Evan did such a wonderful job with that, and we thank you. Yes, Nino?
No, I say thank you, Evan.
Yes.
I missed it. I was in India. Yeah.
So Global
Yeah.
Success Month will be next March, so we'll have that many more people involved. But thanks again to all of you for coming to the webinar today, and wishing you much success and good health.